happen when we live united. Are you guys going to do that every time?
Yes, of course. Yes, of course.
Brought to you by United Way and the Ad Council.
This is the sound of salmonella gyrating on your undercooked chicken. And it looks like Mom might be taking it out a little early. Don't let salmonella get funky with your chicken. On average, 1 in 6 Americans will get a foodborne illness this year. So use a thermometer to cook each type of meat to the right temperature. Keep your family safe at foodsafety.gov. Brought to you by the USDA, HHS, and the Ad Council.
Grades, work, sports, bikinis. 18-year-old guys have a lot on their minds. Accidentally breaking the law probably isn't one of them. Yet that's exactly what young men will be doing if they fail to register with Selective Service. So if you know a guy turning 18, do him a favor. Remind him. Fortunately, it'll only take him a few minutes because that's all it takes to register at sss.gov. Then he can get back to his distractions. Homework. sss.gov. Register. It's the law.
See that cute little dog in the pet store? Chances are it came from a puppy mill. A breeding facility that forces caged, neglected, and often sick dogs to churn out puppies to be sold for profit. Meanwhile, millions of wonderful, healthy pets end up in animal shelters. But with one simple choice, you can help, just by deciding to adopt instead of purchase your next pet. Not only are you saving a life, you're taking a stand against puppy mills. Visit bestfriends.org/puppymills to learn more.
The following is a production of WEGL 91.1 FM.
That ball is gone! It's a home run! It's a walk-off home run for Stephen Williams!
WEGL Sports.
The Tigers are headed to the College World Series!
Where
The Tigers are SEC Tournament champions!
Game.
There goes Davis! Oh my God! Davis is going to run it all the way back!
Lives. It's now time for the Extra Point. Auburn's best sports talk personalities on Auburn's best station.
We the North are now we the champions. The Raptors, the 2019 NBA champs.
Auburn's most watched sports TV show, Auburn's best sports talk radio show.
Lillard, long range three, and it's good! At the buzzer! Damian Lillard! Are you kidding me?
Call in at 334-844-9345 to join the debate.
Oh my God!
Deep to right field, way up there, and way out of here! Second deck walk-off home run! Grand slam, Bryce Harper!
Lock in. The Extra Point starts now on WEGL Radio and Eagle Eye TV. Presented by WEGL Sports, where every game lives.
Here we come. Yeah, here we come. Hey, here we come. Hey, here we come. Here we come.
Oh, welcome into another edition of the Extra Point here on WEGL 91.1 FM and Eagle Eye TV. Jared Dillard joined by Andy Hewling, Javon Cutler, and Jack Hart on this Wednesday edition of the show. If you want to call in, you can call in at 334-844-9345. Don't worry, I got the number. That is 334-844-9345. Also, if you just want to chat in the live stream on Twitter, YouTube, or on Facebook, you can as well. We'll see that come through. We'll answer your questions as the day goes along. That being said, Andy, it's a Wednesday, middle of the day. Some people may call it hump day. How are you doing on this Wednesday morning?
A little tired. Had to go to work at 5:15 a.m. Woke up a little dazed and confused after the Antonio Brown saga story last night continued. Yeah, it's been a good day. I've been up for probably now a solid 4 hours. So yeah.
Javon, have you been dazed and confused, as Andy says?
I have been dazed and confused, but not because I've been up super early like Andy. It's all because of, like he also said, the Antonio Brown situation. I mean, it just seems to continue to add on and add on and add on. And for his sake, hopefully it ends really soon. And I don't know much about these allegations as far as if they're true or not, but I'm sure we'll talk about it later in the show.
You mean later? You mean like in 2 minutes?
2 minutes.
Jack, how you doing?
Doing very well. Man, this week has dragged on for me, but hey, if I can just get through today, there's some Thursday night football tomorrow that I'm excited for, and I think the weekend will be just around the corner. So
Are you excited for Thursday night football?
Very excited.
Can we talk about that Thursday night?
After Jameis Winston put up a -7, ooh, you bet I'm excited.
Can we talk about that Thursday night football commercial that was
amazing?
It was amazing.
I liked it.
I didn't think it was that good.
Okay, well.
Okay, fair. Well,
when the Colts fan talks about Andrew Luck, we'll see.
I'm past Andrew Luck. My boy Jacoby Brissett, he's a baller, and the Colts will beat the Titans on Sunday. That being said, let's keep it in the NFL. Let's switch gears and let's go over to the New England Patriots and Antonio Brown. Some crazy stuff happened last night with Antonio Brown. As we'll just bring up the article that I sent. I know I sent to Jack, and I was just like, man, look at this, because it came through on the phone. And I was like, wow. I was gonna say it went from 0 to 100, but to be quite honest, I said it went 65 to 100 because we were already, speeding on through this. So for Antonio Brown, and there is some more news coming out this morning, but what we want to talk about right now is the accusal. I'm gonna be very clear. The accusal of sexual assault and rape, reported by the New York Times yesterday. It was in a lawsuit filed, and a woman accused Brown of who is his former trainer in the lawsuit, alleged 3 separate sexual assaults from June 2017 to May of last year. So this is very recent. This isn't like, 5-10 years ago. We're talking about just a couple of years ago, a stone throw away. And pretty much, I won't go into details because I don't think that my bosses upstairs would allow me to say some of the stuff that is in this lawsuit. But pretty much, it's about as bad as you can possibly expect. Very graphic. If you want to go read the New York Times report on it, very interesting deep dive into what's going on in that lawsuit that's currently happening. And for the NFL, they are considering paid leave for Antonio Brown as they investigate. In a report that came through, the NFL will give serious consideration to placing Antonio Brown on paid leave via the commissioner's exempt list. That multiple people told the Washington Post. So it's definitely coming to a head right now. So being placed on the list, he'll be barred from playing. His decision is expected to come this week after some investigating by the league office. So there is a possibility that Antonio Brown does not suit up against the Miami Dolphins. But then again, the NFL could allow Brown to play for the Pats while it's underway and then later put him on administrative leave. So really, it's a sticky situation right now. Really bad situation that the league is in, that Antonio Brown is in, that the Patriots are in. A very bad situation that you don't wish on anybody, especially the person who accuses Antonio Brown of that assault. Don't want to see that. It's just bad all around. And let's dive into it. It's a sticky situation, so I understand if you want to back off on that.
Yeah. Carter dug up something, sent it to our group chat last night, and let me tell you, I read the first line and put my phone down and said, I'm going to bed because I can't deal with this right now.
It's bad.
It's shocking, but at the same time it isn't, because I don't know. At some point you just become numb to what's the next thing that Antonio Brown does, because it's just another domino in a long line. I mean, obviously this transcends petty locker room talk, but it's definitely it seems like a more natural next step for this kind of thing to progress into.
Yeah, Javon, Andy. I mean, is there anything you can add in this situation?
I will say, honestly, it's just crazy to think, unless he does end up playing while they investigate, he may not play for the Raiders now. Well, he won't play for the Raiders, but he may not play also for the Patriots either. So this is two teams that he's committed to, that he said, I'm going to play for you. And they were, settling contracts with him. And then he's just up and either done something or he had a reason to leave. It's just insane. Like I don't think we've seen this kind of drama with one player in sports for quite a while, and I'm just like shocked at the things that he did. Obviously, we won't go into that, but yeah, if this is true, he should not play for quite a while.
I don't think we've seen this level of shock and awe in the NFL. I mean, Aaron Hernandez comes up because that was definitely shock and awe, because he played on Sunday, and then like later in the week, the man's being arrested for charges of murder.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. All right, so that was shock and awe.
I think Ray Rice is up there for sure.
Ray Rice, which was the catalyst for a lot of the things that we see now, because that was the first moment the NFL was like, all right, that was the first. That was the first action the NFL took in what's been a long saga of player conduct off the field, right? Now, we can go back even further, and there's OJ, right? Hello, Twitter world, right?
Yours truly.
But, I mean, the NFL, they're just in a precarious position, and it makes it worse that it's the Patriots, right? Because Roger Goodell, with his history, with New England
and Roger Kraft in the offseason.
Yes.
I mean, it's
never ending.
What's going on in Boston?
Boston's a weird city, man. Then you got the Celtics, you got the Bruins. I mean, it's the Red Sox, who are currently on fire right now, as Bay Marks cries in his corner every night now. It's just a bad situation all around. And the Patriots, Patriot way, which I'm not really sure what the Patriot way is anymore, because fool me once with Aaron Hernandez, shame on you, but fool me twice, Antonio Brown, shame on me.
Well, to be fair, Antonio Brown was a Patriot for about 45 minutes.
Yes, but that being said, I saw some reports that this was apparently leaked out a couple of days ago, that something bad was about to happen with Antonio Brown with a lawsuit. And as the Patriots, when you sign somebody, especially after they were acting a fool with not one but two teams, it is your due diligence to go do a background check. I can't even do certain things at Auburn University without getting a background check. But Antonio Brown can sign a $9 million contract with the New England Patriots after using racially insensitive words against GM Mike Mayock, and then liking certain tweets that may have referenced, bad things happening to Mayock. And he can just sign a contract willy-nilly? I'm just saying. Andy, I mean, to go to work this morning, you probably go through a background check for something, whatever.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Due diligence on the Patriots, right? I understand if they slipped through the crack and they didn't know, but something tells me that they didn't really care about what may have been in the background. They cared about, I got Antonio Brown. And then they traded Demaryius Thomas, and now it's like...
Definitely. I mean, it was done so hastily that, and especially because it happened right at 4:01, right when he was eligible. It definitely was done hastily by the Patriots. They just wanted, hey, let's get AB before anyone else can. And is this going to lead to? I mean, we joked about it last week. Is AB going to tumble to another team without even playing a snap for the Patriots? Is it just going to be a cavalcade of off-season events or off the field events that bounce AB from team to team? He doesn't play all season.
I mean, I can't imagine where he would go after this.
Who knows?
Yeah. I mean, who knows? But I honestly can't imagine an NFL team taking a risk on him at this point.
We said the same thing after the Oakland debacle, and there he is at the world champion Patriots. I mean, I don't know. I don't know what to expect. Like, this is an unprecedented event in the league. I don't know what comes next. I don't know how this story ends.
I don't think the story ends for a long time. I mean, we're going to be here in December talking about Antonio Brown.
For our sake, I'm glad.
Yeah. Is there anything else we want to add with the Antonio Brown just chapter in this book? We're only in like chapter 7 right now.
I'm going to say for my amazing advisor, Billy Ferris, his comments, I honestly think that he called it. He was saying last night before it happened, it was literally 2 hours before it happened. He's like, I just hope Antonio Brown does not do anything to dishonor the Patriot name. And, well, there you go.
I mean,
hanging out with Patrick Chung, I guess.
After Robert Kraft got caught in his little whatever this past offseason and Aaron Hernandez and all that stuff, what is the Patriot name at this point? Super Bowls, yeah. Tom Brady, great. Usually they have some stand-up characters, but the Patriots have had a lot of
is Tom Brady a stand-up character, or does he win football games?
I mean, I think Tom Brady's...
He's got a little bit of a speckled past.
He took in Antonio Brown when he had nowhere to go.
That is true.
Yeah. Now,
is that just being like a friendly, veteran?
I don't know if Antonio Brown is still staying at Tom Brady's house after this.
Would we like would Tom Brady be perceived as in the positive light he is if he wasn't such a winner all the time? I think.
I don't hear bad things about Tom Brady other than I hate that he wins.
I see Brady as like the team dad. When the guy needs a home, just let him stay in his like other guest room in his 600 room house.
Lets him wear his UGG boots.
I have no reason to hate Tom Brady other than he's my rival, right?
Fair
he
enough.
wins.
Fair enough.
My team cannot win a Super Bowl because they got to go through Tom Brady. My team had a rivalry with the Patriots, and let's be honest, the Patriots won that rivalry, right, because of Tom Brady. Okay, so that's the reason why I hate him. But as a man, right, as a human being, all right, I'll have a couple of drinks with him. That's fine. He's probably cool. I assume. I don't hang out with him.
He's definitely cool.
Yeah,
he makes funny Instagram videos.
But we'll see. We'll see if Antonio Brown is still staying with the Bradys and the
Brady Bunch.
Oh, Andy, you're making me go to commercial right now. All right, we're gonna head to a quick commercial break as we get Andy online, and when we come back, we'll detail more about what's going on in the NFL. You're listening and watching Extra Point here on WGL 9211 and Eagle Eye TV.
There are 250 miles of trails in Alabama state parks. That's 250 miles for you to hike, bike, and explore. And it's something we want to share with future generations. Help us improve these trails by becoming a partner in the Alabama State Parks Trail Program. To learn more about the importance of outdoor recreation and how you can help with the development and management of this new trail program, visit alapark.com or call 800-ALAPARK. Sponsored by the Alabama State Parks, the Alabama Broadcasters Association, and this station.
The Army National Guard is committed to keeping the country safe and our communities secure. Composed of hundreds of thousands of citizen soldiers from all walks of life, the Guard is always ready to respond to local or national emergencies. We protect the homeland. We're always there when called upon, and in every state and territory, we stand guard for our communities. To learn more, log on to nationalguard.com.
Sponsored by the Alabama Army National Guard. Aired by the Alabama Broadcasters Association and this station.
Selfless service is the guiding principle that drives Army National Guard soldiers to be always ready whenever disaster strikes. They are your next-door neighbors and your colleagues in schools, offices, and factories. To be a Guard soldier is to stand ready to serve at all times for family, for community, and for country. To learn more, log on to nationalguard.com or contact an Army National Guard recruiter in your area.
Sponsored by the Alabama Army National Guard. Aired by the Alabama Broadcasters Association and this station.
The skills you can develop as a soldier in the Army National Guard can give you an edge in the high-tech job market of tomorrow. The Guard offers career training to take advantage of your skills in science, technology, engineering, and math that can help give you a leg up to a high-paying and rewarding STEM profession. Get a head start on your career while earning money to pay for college. Log on to NationalGuard.com to learn about all of the STEM career opportunities in the Army National Guard. Sponsored by the Alabama Army National Guard. Aired by the Alabama Broadcasters Association and this station.
Welcome back to the Extra Point here on WGL 911. Andy Galot TV joining me in the studio. Andy Hewling, Javon Cutler, and Jack Hart. As we continue the NFL talk, as the NFL definitely we have a game tomorrow, Bucks Panthers, that should be hopefully good.
It'll be very good.
As there's some other NFL news going on that just came through not too long ago, probably in the last 30 minutes. The Jets lost one of their, I would probably say, biggest receivers in Quincy Enunwa. I think I said that right. Enunwa? Did I say that right, Javon?
That's the Jets. That sounds about right.
That's the Jets' biggest receiver.
It's the Jets. I mean, I guess Le'Veon at this point.
I don't know if I can name 5 players.
I mean, they have like Robbie Anderson. He's like their best deep threat, I think.
Did you see that Adam Gase pretty much threw a shade at Robbie Anderson?
Yeah, I
in
heard
the press
about that.
conference?
Yeah.
So the Jets are kind of already falling apart.
Already in mid-season form, I see.
Yeah, so Jets wide receiver Quincy E-Man, I'll call him E-Man, will miss the remainder of the season with a neck injury. Coach Adam Gase confirmed Wednesday. Now, they did get Demaryius Thomas from New England, so I guess he's now the biggest target. If we're taking out Le'Veon, and they would take out Robbie Anderson, who Gase threw shade at anyway.
Poor Adam Gase, man. Having to coach the Dolphins and the Jets in the past 5 years.
Okay, but here's the thing about Adam Gase, because I cannot understand how that man has literally, he failed forward. Because the Dolphins are a dumpster fire now. They're the worst team. So he failed forward. It wasn't, a linear move. Was it?
I don't know. I see the Dolphins and the Jets on the same tier.
I mean,
maybe not this year. Maybe the Dolphins are extra bad this year. But I feel like if you take a running average of the Dolphins and Jets, I think those are pretty much the same. And if the football is the same, I'd rather live in Miami. That's all I'm saying.
Let me tell you what he said in his press conference after they lost to the Bills. By the way, when they came back,
they lost badly to the Bills. It was 1 point.
It was 1 point.
But it was a 14-point fourth quarter for the Bills. The Jets should have won that game.
So pretty much, he said that the press questioned a couple moves that he made, and he pretty much just said, that's one thing about being a head coach. I can, do whatever I want, and it's at my discretion. Kind of just bluntly said that. And then he was pretty upset about his wide receivers. So he was ticked off with the wide receivers on Monday. He didn't name names, but was critical of the route running in week 1. And he's an offensive, minded guy. So
I pulled up the Jets depth chart. It looks like Robbie Anderson, Jamison Crowder, and Quincy are your
main
3.
Yeah.
And then you got Josh Bellamy and Braxton Barrios.
And you might well throw in Le'Veon Bell, because Le'Veon scored both touchdowns, didn't he? Were they both catching? I'm not sure. But Le'Veon was big in the passing game for the Jets.
Braxton Barrios was from Miami when Mark Richt was there.
So the Jets have already fallen apart for the most part, it seems like, in the season.
It took about 1 quarter.
and they're looking good, too. I don't know what's going on with the Jets. But yeah, that's what's happening with the Jets right now. So they lost a big-time target to a season-ending injury. Here's another thing. Raiders cornerback Comley, he's okay after a scary neck injury. If you watch Monday Night Football, he was carted off the field. But he's all good to go.
It was a very physical game on Monday night in Oakland. I think Carter said he's seen 4 plays and he's probably expecting a fight by the end of this.
Yeah.
I mean, those Raiders cornerbacks were hitting hard when especially after a Denver check down. I think the cornerbacks would just come in and crush the Denver wide receivers.
And here is the fallout from the Texans losing against the Saints. Texans are already releasing one cornerback, and it is Aaron Colvin, who signed a 4-year, $34 million contract in 2018. He's gone after he struggled through week 1. So the Texans, no chill. Also still with no GM. So we'll see how I can't see the Texans doing well when it comes to making roster moves this year. And lastly, OBJ plans to keep wearing his $190,000 watch during games because gotta have that ice on.
I will make an argument for him there.
Wait, what?
Wait, what?
This is the hill you're gonna die on, Andy.
Hey, I'm just saying, I think tennis players wear their watches while they play tennis all the time. It's probably an advertisement. It's one of those deals.
Tennis is like the only sport where there's a big clock actually on the court already. If any sport.
That's very true. It's very true. I don't know why, but they have to wear their watches. It's ridiculous.
They could just do like race car drivers do and wear the gloves that have a Rolex printed on it. So they get the sponsorship without having to wear the Rolex.
There you go.
That's true.
Yeah. So why can't he do that? Why does he want to wear?
I think Nike and Rolex should do a collaboration and make some OBJ gloves with a Rolex on them.
Or Rolex headbands, ninja headbands.
Yeah, so tennis players could wear.
Don't tell the NBA.
Hey, don't tell the NBA. Why can't he just go to the dollar store and get a watch if it's so important for him to keep time?
You're telling me OBJ is going to roll out on the field in a Casio calculator watch?
Probably. I mean,
no.
If you need to tell time that bad, well, I don't know. Look, if you have money and you want to flaunt it, go for it. That's just that's I don't know. It just doesn't make sense.
I think that's exactly what he's doing.
I'll let them wear it until the Browns get their first delay of game penalty, and then I think it's being ineffective.
You mean the Browns are penalized how many times? 17?
It was like 18.
18?
Yeah.
He's probably sitting there looking at his watch all right, we better get the playoff.
And Greg Robertson kicked the guy in the head. So
War Eagle.
I still haven't seen the actual video of that play.
I saw it on SportsCenter.
It's not as exciting as when AB kicked that guy. It's more like when your brother knocks you down when you're wrestling in the basement and you have to kind of get him from your back as a retaliation move. It wasn't that exciting. It wasn't WWE SmackDown style.
Well, either way, the Browns continue to chug along, and they have a Monday Night Football game coming up against the Jets.
Thank you, NFL, for gracing us with another primetime Jets-Browns matchup.
So
I was not satiated with last year's matchup. I need another one.
They probably only did it because the Browns' first win in a long time came against the Jets on. It was prime time. I don't know.
It was Thursday night.
It was Thursday night. So they probably want to do that again. Hey, it's going to happen again, guys.
Mm-hmm.
And here come the Browns with Baker Mayfield's 3 interceptions. Baker, don't do it again or we'll lose fantasy. All right. And
well, it could be other factors at play.
Well, I mean, look, we all took an L in fantasy this week, okay? So we got to keep chugging along. So with that being said, looking at a little bit more of the NFL schedule coming up, obviously Buccaneers, Panthers 7-point favorite, over under 50 points. It is now at 49.5.
I like that. That's a good over under.
Is it?
I think the Panthers offense has.
I guess my thing is, are the Buccaneers going to score that many points?
I think it might be the Panthers mostly scoring. That's what I imagine in my head. It's probably going to be 30-20 to get to 50. I'll take that.
Okay.
That seems like a realistic score. I expected the Panthers-Rams games to be a defensive slugfest, and that ended up with 57 combined points. So I think it could get up there, especially Thursday night. It's going to be fast and loose. Probably some defensive scores with Panthers special teams and Jameis serving up some turnovers. So I'd like to see that. Yeah, I'll take that over under.
If you have the Panthers defense on fantasy, you may want to start them, because Jameis definitely is a cause for a lot of turnovers. Looking at some other games going on, all the games, at least line-wise, are close until you hit a certain game. Well, 2 of the games are, I believe, double digits. One is the Ravens at home against the Cardinals, 13.5-point favorites. But the Patriots line has actually went up.
That's what I was about to ask, because I'm looking at all these games. Yeah, they're pretty good. A lot of divisional matchups. Some interesting cross-league play, and then, Pats in Miami.
19
points. But it's in Miami, so it's like even when you think about it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's a 19-point spread just playing in Hard Rock Stadium for the Patriots.
So we'll see what happens to the Dolphins as things go along. Honestly, both organizations are. Well, the Patriots are dealing with one big thing. The Dolphins are dealing with a lot of big things. Everybody just trying to get out of there.
I know we can talk about this a little bit more on Friday, but are there any NFL games that you guys are super excited for this weekend? We don't have to get too far into it, but just a little bit of a preview. Just getting excited for the weekend.
I would say Saints-Rams are going to be a good afternoon game.
Mm-hmm.
I'm excited for that. Javon, I'm sorry, I'm not excited for Sunday Night Football.
It's okay. It's understandable after what the Falcons did this past Sunday. Hopefully they'll get their act together, but you never know. But
the last 2 times the Eagles and Falcons have played, it's been extremely boring games. So I hope that isn't the case on Sunday night. I'm excited for Seahawks going to Pittsburgh. I want to see if the Steelers can bounce back. That's like kind of an iconic matchup. It's a Super Bowl rematch from a couple of years ago. And I want to see if the Seahawks are going to continue that kind of gritty success they had in Week 1, and especially seeing if the Steelers can get more than 3 points out of their offense, for sure.
I'm excited about Dallas going to Washington. That's a big rivalry game. Always a lot of animosity between those two sides. It'll be interesting to see how Dak Prescott, Ezekiel Elliott run the offense. Also, I'm interested to see Kansas City at Oakland, see how good Patrick Mahomes plays without Tyreek Hill now to throw to, but hopefully Sammy Watkins will help him out. And then I will say the Rams and New Orleans Saints is going to be a high-scoring match. I'll be excited to see that one. And then obviously New England at Miami.
Andy just named the whole schedule at this point.
Sure. Hey, New England and Miami. You never know. The Dolphins are always the team that gives the Patriots trouble.
Jared, you have the lines pulled up. What is the line on the Kansas City-Oakland game? Because that is last year's number 1 offense versus last year's number 32 defense.
Only 8 points.
Which I'll buy because the Raiders looked good on defense last week. They pitched a shutout in that first half, but I don't know. After last season, that matchup could be pretty crazy when it comes to the Chiefs heading to the Coliseum this weekend.
I'm interested in, obviously, Colts-Titans, only because the Titans are favored by 3 at home, which means, kind of in a line perspective, how much do they spot home team? Is it 3 points or 2 points?
I think it's 2.
2? So 1 is pretty much even at that point.
Yeah, and the Colts have had the Titans number for the better part of 10 years.
If the Colts can beat the Titans handily, which I think they will, it's the Colts and Texans division to lose. And I don't see Deshaun Watson staying healthy all season. So I think the Colts win this handily. It's the Colts division. That's my 2 cents.
Okay, Jared.
That's my 2 cents. All right.
1-1's team division to lose.
Yeah. So with that being said, we're going to head to a quick commercial break. And we'll come back. We'll have more Extra Point on the other side of the break. And we'll probably get into a little bit of USA basketball as they've let us all down against France over in China. You're listening and watching Extra Point here on WGL 911 and Eagle Eye TV.
Darren College, a former NFL Super Bowl champion, signed the most important contract of his life to serve in the Army National Guard.
I've had a lot of military in my family. It's a big part of what my family's done for a long time. I want to go out there and make a difference. I didn't find that working behind a desk, so for me it was a pretty easy decision to make. And then the opportunity to serve my community and serve my country was just icing on the cake.
To learn how to be part of the Army National Guard, log on to NationalGuard.com. Sponsored by the Alabama Army National Guard. Aired by the Alabama Broadcasters Association and this station.
Our daughter might be drinking or taking something else. We can't talk with her about it. She keeps everything secret. But when I pretend everything is okay, I'm keeping secrets too. My therapist suggested Al-Anon family groups. It was helpful to hear what other parents said. Are you troubled by someone's drinking? You might be surprised at what you could learn in an Al-Anon family group from people just like you. Call 1-888-4-AL-ANON or visit alanonfamilygroups.org.
Hi, I'm Anthony Anderson, and on TV, I play a dad who has it all. But growing up, my real life was very different. My parents taught me that tomorrow isn't promised to anyone. That's why they each had life insurance to take care of the future. I got my first policy when I was 18. Now, would your family be okay if something happened to you? If you can buy a latte, you can buy life insurance. It's that affordable. Join me in taking care of our family's futures at lifehappens.org.
A public service message from the nonprofit Life Happens.
I want to thank my mommy for loving me so much,
for taking me to the doctor when I broke my foot, for leaving me alone when I wanted to be alone.
And now, as a grown-up, I'm thankful for being able to take care of you, my dear mom, for taking you to your therapies, for understanding that sometimes you simply want to be alone.
Roles change without us noticing. That's why AARP gives you the information to provide even better care for your loved one. Visit aarp.org/caregiving. Brought to you by AARP and the Ad Council.
Nothing feels better than this. Nothing feels better. Nothing feels better than this. Nothing feels better.
And welcome back to the Extra Point here on WEGL 911 and Eagle Eye TV. Andy Hill and Javon Kohler and Jack Hart joining myself in the studio as we continue to talk. Let's go to USA Basketball. Lost a big game early this morning against France in the quarterfinals, and their 58 win streak in tournaments gone. The USA out. They will not get a medal this year, and well, I'm pretty bummed out that the Celtics couldn't pull it out, Javon. I'm gonna be honest.
I would be too, but you know what? We should leave those Celtics players in China and just bring the rest of the team back because they were a disgrace.
Oh, no, I don't want a UCLA thing happen again.
Good point. Good point.
That happened in China?
That was in China. That was in China.
That's a deep cut right there. Yeah, I don't want another UCLA thing to happen again. You know, I would say I'm disappointed, but I feel like I don't care anymore about USA basketball and FIBA tournaments.
I'm honestly not surprised. This team is not as good as some of the USA basketball teams we've seen in the Olympics or in this tournament as well. They look shaky throughout the whole tournament, having to go to overtime with Turkey, playing some close games with other teams. So I'm really honestly not surprised. And on your point, Jared, probably don't really care too much.
Yeah, it's just FIBA. If it was the Olympics, it'd be a way bigger situation, and you'd have more players as far as like star players playing in the Olympics compared to FIBA, where you have mostly like C plus, maybe B minus NBA players. So I'm not too worried about this, and I'm sure they'll rebound whenever the next FIBA tournament comes around. And they always have the Olympics coming up next year, and at least they got a berth in the Olympics for next year. So that's I guess one positive you could take out of it.
They're just playing the long game, I guess. Right?
Yeah, that's probably the case.
Talking about the NBA, let's also talk about Kevin Durant. How about this? All right. Let's go to Kevin Durant, because Kevin Durant's always a fun topic. Kevin Durant said, quote, "Some days I hate the circus of the NBA." No comment on that? Anybody?
I mean,
a true prophet.
It is true. Like, I could imagine kind of with him too, because we all pick at him for being sensitive, and the media always tries to twist his words somehow, and he probably does get annoyed by that, and everybody constantly following you and having a bigger spotlight on you maybe than other teams or other sports, I should say. So I could understand where he's coming from, because he seems like kind of a low-key, quiet guy who doesn't want all this attention on him. He just wants to play basketball.
Yeah, I think this is a really interesting comment, just because we tend to idolize basketball players through the years. I mean, we talk about LeBron and Michael Jordan and Steph Curry, Westbrook, and the list goes on. And I think this is an interesting take from him, just like seeing that like he doesn't want all the attention on him all the time. And almost doesn't even like that. And I think a lot of players might come out, and follow his pattern, saying like, "Hey, like it's not always about me; it's about the team."
Well, I just find it funny that this comes from a guy who had Twitter burner accounts. Who pretty much thumbed his nose at OKC after he left. And in a sense, I feel like, yeah, the NBA is a circus, but I feel like he's part of that circus, ain't he? Isn't he like one of the acts?
I feel like with the Golden State, yeah, he's part of the circus. I feel like his career, when he left OKC, just kind of even got higher and higher on a pedestal, because you had the whole controversy with OKC, and then he's won NBA championships now with the Golden State Warriors. So like his career has gone up, I guess you could say, putting him in a more higher spotlight.
And then he leaves OKC to join Kyrie, who is another act in the circus, I would say. Kyrie says some weird stuff, right? I don't want to get into Earth is flat nonsense, okay? But Kyrie is one of those guys where I don't know if I want him to be the face of my franchise. I mean, yeah, he's a great player, but he brings a lot of brings a little bit of problems here or there when it comes to team chemistry, aka the Celtics, right? The Celtics, I don't know if they'll be better because they don't have Kyrie, but I think they have enough pieces to where they can be okay. So I'm looking at the Nets. They got KD and Kyrie. Well, I hope it works out. But I'm not going to bet on it. Right? You guys don't seem very enthralled about NBA talk right now.
It's just too early for
it's
NBA.
Just too early?
Yeah, like hit me up in like maybe a few more weeks when it's closer to basketball season. But right now, like it's more college football, NFL talk, and basketball. NBA back burner is in the back burner because free agency's done. So everything's just kind of died down as far as the NBA right now.
I mean, I'm always going to talk about NBA, but okay, we'll talk about this. Let's go over to college football, and let's talk about this NCAA telling California about their fair pay to play act that they are trying to get through and installed. So, what is this exactly? California is trying to allow student athletes to profit off of likeness, pretty much, in a nutshell, which the NCAA is saying that's going to cause an unfair advantage. Because think about it. California would have a recruiting advantage over a lot of other schools that, I can go here and I can profit. I can get a little bit extra money if I play well, right? California gets that recruiting edge, which is one of the big reasons why the NCAA is like, this probably isn't a good idea, right?
Because we don't want USC winning 4 national championships in a row because they're cheating again.
Yeah.
I just want USC to just win 8 games and look good doing it right now. Okay, let's get there. We'll talk about USC winning 4 national championships. But yeah, recruiting disadvantage, which I can see from that perspective why that's probably a bad thing, because everybody would want to go to California. Everybody want to go to USC, UCLA, Cal, right? And they can profit off their likeness. Okay? And I can see why that's probably going to be a problem. It got to the point where there was talk last year or last semester, early in the year, where if they were to go ahead through this, right, the California schools would be barred from playing in championships. The NCAA would not allow them to play in playoffs. I believe, I'm not sure the NCAA can ban them from playing in conference championships, but that's more of a conference thing, not an NCAA thing. But they would be banned from postseason contention outside of the conference, most likely. That's March Madness, college football playoffs, World Series, and, for baseball and softball. They would not be able to go to any of those, right? And so it spurs this. It spurs that conversation that always pops up. Is this the breaking point of the NCAA where it eventually all falls apart. And that the conferences just kind of break away from the NCAA and kind of do their own things together, right? Which people are wondering when that's going to happen. I don't know if that ever is actually going to happen, right? But that is starting that conversation again. This is the closest we're going to get to California succeeding from the nation, is this moment right here. So what are your guys' thoughts on California letting players profit off of their likeness?
Well,
really, I just want an NCAA football game.
That's what I'm thinking about too.
That's really what I'm in on this.
I just want the football game.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd agree with that. But California's always been one of these states that have been really progressive, really liberal. So they've always been kind of shying away from the norm as far as the rest of the country. And this is just one of their examples right here as far as paid to play. And I think it would create a obvious unfair advantage because you would get more elite recruits going to the USCs, UCLAs, Cal's, Stanfords, and whatnot, because if you have the chance to earn money and you're like an 18-year-old, why would you not take that opportunity? And I think it would dilute a little bit as far as the talent that goes to Kansas and Duke and those type of schools for basketball. So I think it definitely is an unfair advantage in the NCAA saying that they will be banned from postseason competition is kind of their rebuttal as far as this. But if you're able, I guess, to make some money off of your likeness, and why not, I guess, go to California? But it's an interesting concept. I just don't think that it's going to gain any more traction, and I don't think it's going to get passed.
Andy?
I think it's not a great idea, honestly, just for what Javon said. It's going to create an unfair advantage for players to go to the California schools. And we could see, down the years, if this is passed, that like USC, UCLA start becoming a lot better at football because they have the athletes, they have the playmakers, but just because they're coming on a theory that they can get paid, so that way they can get their likeness used and whatever the NCAA would have them do, or their university would have them do for like video games or stuff like that. And I think like I'm not saying the idea is not bad. Like, I think it's a pretty inventive idea, but like, it's just, if you're going to do it in one state, you can't not do it in the others. I feel like it's just an unfair advantage. If we were talking about the whole country, if all like teams wanted to do this, then it would be a totally different conversation. But it's unfair to give one state, especially a state like California that has tons of athletes, tons of major cities in the country like San Francisco and Los Angeles that they can get talent pools from. It's very unfair for other teams as far as recruiting.
We're going to head to a quick commercial break, and when we come back, we'll discuss more about that bill and what California's trying to pass and what that may mean for Auburn. Because eventually, if California passes that, you're probably going to want to see a lot of SEC schools to be like, wait a minute, we don't want to lose what we got. That may be the West Coast. And a lot of SEC teams may not have that on the West Coast, right? But the moment that one team down here says, we want to start doing that, it's going to cause a pretty much avalanche of other things that will be happening. But we're going to head to a quick commercial break. When we come back, we'll keep talking about that California bill and what that can mean for Auburn University. You'll listen to Extra Point here on WGL 91.1 and Eagle Eye TV.
If I need your help, would you rescue me? Would you rescue me? Would you rescue me? Would you get my back? Would you take my car when I start to crack? Would you rescue me? Would you rescue me? Would you rescue me? When I'm by myself, when I need your love, if I need your help, would you rescue me? Would you rescue me?
It only takes a minute to find out if you may have prediabetes, and you can do it at doihaveprediabetes.org. But you're probably not going to, are you? Kids, work, listening to the radio. You're busy, which is great because busy people can't get prediabetes. Oh my, I read that wrong. They can. Should have worn my glasses. So visit doihaveprediabetes.org and take a short test, because prediabetes can be reversed.
Brought to you by the Ad Council and its pre-diabetes awareness partners.
Want to help pull the plug on cyber terrorists or work with satellites and other space technology? How about learning the avionics inside stealth fighters? You can do it, serving part-time in the Air National Guard. In the Air Guard, you'll earn extra cash and money for college while gaining high-tech skills in one of nearly 200 career specialties. Call the Alabama Air National Guard at 1-800-TOGOANG or visit goang.com/AL.
Soon this little baby I'm singing to sleep will start to walk. Before I know it, I'll be dropping her off at school, beaming when she walks up to accept her diploma, or holding back tears as she takes those big steps down the aisle. But before she takes all those steps, she and thousands like her will need you to take yours. Join March for Babies to help make her steps possible. Start your team today at marchforbabies.org.
Young men just don't seem to listen to the radio anymore. They're too busy with their earpods and TV games.
It's iPods and video games?
Whatever. Point is, young men are probably not listening to me right now, but they will listen to you. So I need you to remind them to register with Selective Service when they turn 18. It's an easy way to keep the door open to important benefits like college loans and government jobs, and it's the law. So please feel free to remind them to go to sss.gov or any post office to register.
I heard that.
Can't keep me down.
Welcome back inside the Extra Point here on WEGL 9011 and Eagle Eye TV as we continue to talk that California bill that did pass 72-0. Yeah, it was unanimous. And there was a couple amendments, so it has to go back to their other chamber and they're going to vote on it. But I can't expect that it, for some reason, doesn't pass. So that being said, if the California bill goes through, it goes into effect in 2023. So it's not immediate, all right? There's going to be a couple of years to kind of figure out what to do, okay? But it's expected that it's going to be passed and signed by the governor in late September. So we are a couple weeks away from the beginning of the end of whatever this is with NCAA when it comes to paying players. It was eventually, we all knew that paying players was eventually going to get to, let me take that back, not paying players, because players technically already get paid. That's a low thing, okay? They're called stipends if nobody knows. And athletes, depending on the school and depending on how much money the school has, a lot of athletes, especially at Auburn, athletes do get stipends. It's a better way of just saying they get paid. Okay, that already happens. Athletes are allowed to profit off their likeness? That's about to be put into the forefront of the discussion for the NCAA. And California is probably going to pass that bill in late September. What does this mean for the rest of the NCAA? Well, they kind of have to make a decision now. Because let's be honest, we've trashed the NCAA so much in the past 10 years for the crazy things that they do, for recruiting violations. Missouri hates them. We know Missouri hates them.
Ole Miss hates them.
Ole Miss hates them. Anytime that a recruit gets a cookie cake with sprinkles on it, it could possibly be a violation. So we know the NCAA has some weird laws and policies, right? And I understand that there needs to be a balance between these schools and these high school athletes, and making sure they don't take advantage of them. But at some point, you got to let these players. You as a organization can't profit off these players, and these players not see anything, right? At some point, there has to be something, right? And one of the big things about this bill is that in California, it would make it impossible for schools to take away an athlete's scholarship or eligibility as punishment if they are profiting from their name, image, or likeness. That's the big part, because athletes have lost their scholarship over that. Heck, athletes have lost their scholarship because they've been hurt before. If you think about it and you do a little bit of research on it, there's not a lot of schools that guarantee scholarships for their players. You go from high school to a university. Hey, here's a scholarship. We hope you play well. Your schooling's paid for. You ain't got to worry about that. He goes into spring or fall practice, gets hurt, right? He might not be able to play football again. There is a chance. Now, schools have been better at it, but there's a chance that the school can be like, well, we need that scholarship. We're going to take you off of it. And not only is his career done, what could have been a great career, but he has to leave now. If he can't afford to go to Auburn, if he can't afford to go to Alabama, he's done. Right? That's one of those things. That's a whole different tangent of conversation. But the NCAA and these schools definitely have to take better care of these players. Yes, I know they get schooling paid for, right? And that's one thing. But pretty much not be able to profit off your own likeness. Pretty much you could lose a scholarship at any moment. All these dumb rules, I'm going to say that they're dumb, they're stupid, right? There has to be some sort of balance. There needs to be some sort of committee or oversight with these schools in the NCAA to make sure that these players' well-being is well in hand. I would even like, and this is going to be a very touchy topic, but I would even like a players' association for the NCAA, a representative from every school in there, because they can voice the opinion of the student-athlete body.
So you're lobbying a union?
Yes. I've lobbied a union in Weagle before, so that's not surprising at all. So, no, I think that a governing body that can hold dialogue with a higher entity is very important in organizational communication.
Yeah, I like that. I think with the NCAA its treatment with players, especially student athletes, I think it kind of just asks the question: is it a job what they do, or is it just athletes playing for their school? And I think, we look at what they do. I think
it's definitely a job.
I was about to say that. I think it's almost like a job, because to go to school is one thing, but the amount of work a student athlete does on the field and in practice is almost on the level of what professional athletes. It is on the level actually of what professional athletes do who get paid. I mean, they put in the same work, especially football, basketball. They put in the same work that a professional athlete does, and I think, and it's hard to go to school at the same time and then live your own, personal lives, and do all that at the same time. I think it's definitely a job, and I think the NCAA should take notice of that. But at the same time, I do say this: they are at college to go to school, and I think that should be priority. And I realize that, yes, they should be treated better, but at the same time, I feel like paying the players, especially also using them for their likeness, that kind of takes away the essence of college per se. Because, we're all here, all of us in this room are here to get an education. And, I mean, it's just, Jared, you shaking your head.
I'm just here so I don't get fined, so.
Okay, I'm Marshawn Lynch. But, no, we're all here to get an education. I mean, even if we were athletes, we're still here to get an education. That's our number one priority of college.
It's a good point. All those were actually great points.
I ain't here for education.
Because kind of to echo what you said, Andy, the athletes, they have way harder schedules than what regular college students have, because I know some athletes have to get up at 5 a.m. to do weightlifting and whatnot. Then they might get some time for breakfast, and it's not a lot of time. It's maybe 20, 30 minutes. Then they have to head to their classes. Maybe lunch is 20, 30 minutes again, then go to practice, then get some studying done late night, then maybe go to sleep at 9 a.m. and then repeat that cycle over and over again. So it is
the NCAA commercial about Inside the Life of a Student Athlete. That is fake.
It is fake, yeah.
That was a documentary.
Propaganda. That was propaganda. That's what you meant.
Looks like they followed a real student athlete around.
Yeah, that was a terrible commercial. I don't even want to get into that commercial. But even if they do pass this bill and the athletes accept the endorsement money, it's not going to be a lot of money they're going to get. It's not like it's going to be $1 million or six-figure deal unless you're a Zion Williamson type player. It's going to probably be around I don't know, low 5 figures would be my guess if you're really popular, and then kind of dwindle down from there. But I just think that these athletes do deserve more in terms of a compensation, and they just deserve more than just a plain old education, is what everybody would argue.
Look, bottom line, I should win another football game. That's it. Figure out how to do it.
That's where we're all at right now.
All right, so we're going to head to the top of the hour. Thank you, Andy and Jack.
This guy over here.
Yeah. Thank you, Andy and Jack.
He's only on the show every day.
For joining me on the show. As we're going to head to a quick commercial break, and we come back in about 5 minutes. The scoreboard will be joining us on the show. It'll be a lot of fun as we pretty much run down fantasy, and we also talk about some NFL and college football news. You're watching What's in the Extra Point here on WEGL 91.1 and Eagle Eye TV.
Adopt US Kids presents Multiple Choice Parenting.
Your daughter just had her first breakup. Do you A, put yourself in her shoes?
How could he do this to you? And for Sheila, she has split ends.
B, console her.
Oh, sweetie, this is going to happen a lot. 4, maybe 5 more times before you get married.
C, take charge.
Got to get this all straightened out. Give a little talking to, man to man, mano a mano. Hey, Steve. Is now a good time? No? Okay, no problem. Bye.
Or D, help her find a new boyfriend.
I know a great place to meet boys. The internet. Nice, single boys. Never mind. How about some ice cream?
As a parent, there are no perfect answers. But you don't have to be perfect to be a perfect parent. Thousands of teens in foster care will love you just the same.
For more information on how you can adopt, visit adoptuskids.org. A public service announcement from the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services, Adopt U.S. Kids, and the Ad Council.
It may be hard to believe, but people just like you are already saving money. FeedThePig.org makes it easy. Their simple savings plan teaches you how to start saving without going overboard. So you don't need to mooch off your friends.
You gonna finish that grape? You mean the one in my mouth?
You don't need to stop buying the necessities.
What you're smelling is a natural musk.
Ew.
You don't need to be a medical test subject.
How do you feel? Mostly okay. Sometimes, though.
You don't need to get a second job as a stuntman.
We need a new stuntman. Let's break for lunch.
You just need an internet connection. Don't get left behind. Start your personal savings plan with the tips and tools on feedthepig.org. That way, you don't need to sell your soul to the devil.
$15 is the best I can do.
All right, deal. Brought to you by the American Institute of CPAs and the Ad Council.
I loved playing high school sports. I loved the competition, the camaraderie, the bands, the crowds, all the pageantry, and I wanted to keep playing. But I graduated. No colleges called, and neither did the pros. So, to stay close to the game I loved, I decided to become a high school official. You know, a referee. When I played high school sports, I learned the importance of integrity, good sportsmanship, and respect for the rules. Now, as a high school official, I get to help model these same values to others. Maybe the colleges and the pros didn't call, but the kids in Alabama did. And now, I'm enjoying the competition, the camaraderie, the bands, the crowds, and all the pageantry of high school sports all over again.
This message presented by the Alabama High School Athletic Association and the Alabama High School Athletic Directors and Coaches Association.
Come on, Dad. I'm running circles around you.
I know, sweetie. Dad's not very fast these days.
What about yesterday? Were you fast yesterday?
No, not...
Or the day before that?
I was...
Or the day before that?
Actually, I wasn't ever really fast. Hard to believe, I know.
Kids are special. Let's treat them that way.
That's okay. When I was little, I wasn't fast either. Now I'm fast, so you'll be fast tomorrow. That's how it works. Now come on.
At St. Baldrick's Foundation, we want kids to be kids, not just during trips to the park, but when they need us most, when they need help fighting cancer. That's why the advanced research we fund is specifically designed to help children.
I'm pooped after all this.
Dad, you're supposed to do that in the bathroom.
Support St. Baldrick's and childhood cancer research today by going to stbaldricks.org and getting involved.
Making it green is making sure the
is healthy for your family to breathe. Make sure you test your home for the presence of radon. It's easy. To learn more, call 866-730-GREEN. Preserve your family's health and well-being. Get your home tested. That's living healthy and green. Make sure you test your home for the presence of radon. It's easy. To learn more, call 866-730-GREEN.
A message from the U.S. EPA.
The following is a production of WEGL 91.1 FM.
That ball is gone. It's a home run. It's a walk-off home run for Stephen Williams.
WEGL Sports,
The Tigers are headed to the College World Series.
where every
The Tigers are SEC tournament champions.
game
There goes Davis. Oh, my God. Davis is going to run it all the way back.
lives.
Gladiator, 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 to fight with the gods, I'm the giant slayer.
Poor Christian Yelich, as he is out for the season for the Milwaukee Brewers. Welcome into the Extra Point here on WGL 91.1 and Eagle Eye TV. Jared Diller joined by Javon Cutler. And it's the scoreboard of Bay and Jacob. Bay, we'll start with you. How's it going over there?
I love that introduction, the scoreboard. But I'm doing well. 2 classes down for the day, 1 to go. I'm feeling great today. It's a good day.
Jacob?
Well, I got some good sleep because this is really interesting. You brought up baseball, so I figured I'd bring this up. MLB Stats tweeted that Bruce Bochy has managed from 1995 to 2019. His current record is 1995 and 2019. Well, it doesn't stop there because the Seattle Mariners, with their win last night, are 1995 and 2019 since 1995. So just 2 crazy stats that, because I stayed up to wait if the Mariners won, and they did, and 2 really insane things happened on the same day with those records.
Your quote got me weak.
Oh, yeah.
The Elon Musk.
Yes.
Living in a simulation.
Yes, we are very much living in a simulation.
That's a Matrix glitch right there. So let's talk about a couple things that's going on in baseball right now. Yelich is out for the season. He fractured his kneecap, fouled a ball off of that knee. It's the worst thing that you want to see. And he's done. And I got to believe so are probably the Brewers' chances of running down either the Cubs or the Cardinals. He was a center part of that.
And what was so horrendous about that injury is if you saw it was on his front leg, which obviously is your extended leg if you're a power hitter like him, and his whole leg was just extended and tensed up to the point where it had to have just shattered the kneecap. So it's a devastating injury, and it definitely hurts the Brewers, like you said.
Yeah, it couldn't have happened at a worse time. This is the midst of the wild card race, 1 month to go. So that is the worst thing for the Brewers, is that it happened now and not earlier in the season when he could have gotten him back. But even if they do make the playoffs, he's not going to be back for that as well.
And the Brewers were on a 5-game winning streak. They're currently on a 5-game winning streak. They're 8-2 in the last 10. Only 5 game back of the lead. And you take a look at the wild card, which, by the way, the wild card is pretty much a dog race. Brewers are only 1 game back.
And that's going to hurt them a lot. I find it hard to believe they'll be able to sustain the success they're having right now without Yelich.
It is going to be hard because you got to rely on guys like Mike Moustakas, Lorenzo Cain, who have both had down years, and Ryan Braun, who's basically a shell of himself after winning the MVP a few years ago. So I don't think this is going to last for the Brewers, and I think their playoff chances have gone out the window.
So, yeah, it's a tough one for the Brewers. Another one, we'll stay in the NL Central, has the Pirates definitely had a weird situation yesterday where the Pirates pitcher Kyle Crick is requiring season-ending surgery on his index finger after he got into a fight with Felipe Vasquez in the clubhouse.
Yeah, that doesn't sound good. You don't like the internal situations, especially internal fights, and then it results in an injury. Of course, the Pirates are 20 games below 500, so it's not going to really affect them in the playoffs, but it's not good. It's not a good look for the guys that are on the team, you want to finish the season strong.
Yeah, Pirates. I mean, they're only 14.5 games out of the wild card.
Only.
So if they wanted to make a run, they definitely could. But, I mean, let's take a look at this NL wild card race right now. Nats and Cubs are your 1-2. And then the Brewers, 1 game back. Phillies, 2 games back. Diamondbacks making a run.
They are.
2.5 games back. The Mets still hanging around at 3 games back. And then the Giants, 7.5. And Padres at 10. Reds at 10.5.
So once you get to San Francisco, really after that, it's kind of
a
lost cause. But yeah, I mean, it's really close right now for that wild card spot. And you mentioned Arizona. I mean, they're on a 3-game losing streak. So if they really want to gain some ground and make a run at the wild card, they're really going to have to step it up. I mean, they're 6-4 in their last 10. But I mean, you never know. The top 2 teams are 4-6 in their last 10. So if you get a little help from the top of the wild card race right now, then it's not impossible for Arizona to solidify one of those spots.
Yeah, the NL race is a lot more exciting than the AL race. It's the Rays and Athletics. And then behind Athletics, half the game is Indians. But then after that, 9 games back are the Boston Red Sox.
Don't count us out.
Don't count you out, but you have lost 4 in a row.
Out.
Yeah.
It's pretty much over.
3-7 in the past. Yeah, well, yeah. And we don't have Chris Sale the rest of the year, so that hurts. But.
So I'm not going to say the Red Sox are out of it, but...
Yes, they are.
ESPN does predict that you have a 0.1% chance of reaching the playoffs.
So you're saying there's a chance?
There is a chance.
0.1%. But,
just not a good one. It's pretty much the I would say that the races are pretty knotted up. Update on that trivia that I gave you guys about 100-win teams.
Oh.
Yeah. The Cardinals officially eliminated from getting 100 wins as they lost last night. They are now at 63 on the season. So there goes that pipe dream of the Cardinals going on a tear. But the Dodgers, they clinched. They did it on Tuesday.
Yep.
And they are the first team to clinch. And I believe they are 2.5 games back of the MLB all-time record in wins in a season.
I'm not sure.
I'm not even sure what the record is, to be quite honest. But
I feel like the Yankees or Astros might be closer.
They are. They both have 95 wins.
Oh, and yeah.
But as far as I know, the Dodgers were apparently 2.5 games back. That's what I saw.
They're going to end up with 100, and so will New York and Houston. I mean, Atlanta possibly has a chance, but I don't know. Definitely not St. Louis, obviously, and then Minnesota.
I think it's also because I think the Dodgers have played a couple.
No, they're at the same.
No, they're at the same. Yeah.
Were you looking at something that said they were on pace?
Yes, this is pace.
Okay, well.
Yeah.
Then that means the Yankees and the Astros should be even closer.
So everybody's on pace. So the Dodgers clinch. So there goes the Diamondbacks' chance of winning the West. I believe that's 7 years in a row the Dodgers have won?
7 years, yeah.
7 years in a row the Dodgers have won the NL West. Man, it's just locked down over there. It's 94 for the Dodgers. Update for the Braves. They got to 90. They did lose, but they're 8-2 in the last 10, so it ain't bad.
The Max Fried kind of exploded in the first inning, giving up 3 home runs. One was a 2-run home run. So
let's talk about that Acuna play.
It was an incredible play until he dropped it, and then didn't get it in time. And Kingery, he made a smart play and hustled around the bases.
Yeah.
So it is what it is. It's a learning moment for the youngster.
I mean, the Nationals lost, though, so at least the magic number goes down to 9,
Yeah.
so it doesn't really matter in that case.
Let's see. And then Yankees at 95 wins. The Twins are at 89. They got to get a little bit of pep in their step so they can get up there. But for the most part, I mean, the division races are going pretty much how we expect it to go. The only close division race, I would say, is the AL Central and the NL Central. They're within at least 5 games.
Yeah, I was going to say the NL Central is still somewhat close. I mean, you have Chicago a few games back at St. Louis, so that one's still up for grabs for division title and who has to play in the wild card race. But yeah, I think pretty much, just except for those 2 divisions, you can pretty much bank on what you have right now, obviously.
Yeah. And keep in mind for the Cardinals and Cubs, in the last 10 games, 7 of them, they play each other. So that division is definitely coming down to a head at the end of the season, which will be in late September. So we're getting there. We're chugging along.
That'll be fun baseball to watch. That's when baseball
Not
really
for
starts
me.
getting amped up. Well,
Not for me.
Well,
yeah. I want my team to go to the playoffs, Bay. I haven't had a World
Jared,
Series.
my team's not going to the playoffs either.
But you're defending World Series champions.
I am for
I haven't won a World Series since 2010.
Oh, bless your heart, and you're 10 World Series championships, 11.
It's been a
something
while.
Like that.
It's been a while. Actually, I don't think I've ever told you guys about 2010 for me. That was an amazing year for me. Think about it like this: 2010, Auburn, national champions. 2010, Mavericks, NBA championship. 2010, Cardinals, World Series. And I think 2010, back when I don't bring this up a lot. Back when Jared was into NASCAR a little bit. Tony Stewart won the NASCAR championship. 2010
that was the highlight of your year.
That was the highlight.
I was somewhat the same because I had Auburn and then Green Bay won their last Super Bowl. But
and then and the only thing I traded all those for the Colts being the number 1 pick and getting Andrew Luck.
We saw how that worked out.
Wow. Yeah. I had to trade the Colts being bad for all those. And you know what? I'd do it again.
See, I pull for a lot of Atlanta sports and the Carolina Panthers, so yeah. I don't get a lot of that.
Same. I mean, you could maybe Atlanta United, but some people are still kind of iffy about that. Even
they didn't even exist then,
even in the city of Atlanta, people are like, I don't know if that counts as a championship, but to me, that counts as a championship. I mean, we had a parade. It was big news. I would count that as an Atlanta championship.
I'll give it to them.
Let's see. In Atlanta, won the championship. I don't know what else you call it.
But
right?
What do you mean?
Atlanta United.
Yeah.
And it's like the MLS Cup.
Yeah, the MLS Cup.
Close enough.
Okay.
I mean, it was on national TV, and they had like 72,000 people there. So.
Yeah. I mean, that's a championship. That's close enough, right?
Yeah.
I'd count it. Count it.
I thought you were trying to argue something.
Yeah.
No, we agree.
Yeah, it's
the second time that's happened in 2 weeks. No, I was just saying, Atlanta, they win a championship. That means a championship.
Yeah.
Who's arguing that Atlanta doesn't have a championship? They can't count
people
Atlanta
that hate soccer.
Yeah, people that hate soccer.
Those people.
Especially MLS.
Yeah.
I don't like those people. All right, we're going to head to a quick commercial break before this gets any more out of hand. And when we come back, we'll detail some stuff around the world of sports. You're listening and watching Extra Point here on WEGL 911 and Eagle Eye TV.
Young men just don't seem to listen to the radio anymore. They're too busy with their earpods and TV games.
It's iPods and video games?
Whatever. Point is, young men are probably not listening to me right now, but they will listen to you. So I need you to remind them to register with Selective Service when they turn 18. It's an easy way to keep the door open to important benefits like college loans and government jobs, and it's the law. So please feel free to remind them to go to sss.gov or any post office to register.
I heard that.
Hey, Russell Wilson here, and I know how important exercise is.
It's essential. It's essential.
With Play 60, United Way and the NFL are helping kids stay active and play at least 60 minutes a day.
Healthy kids, healthy kids.
But what this place needs is you. To donate or volunteer, go to unitedway.org/play60 because great things happen when we live united.
Donate.
Are you guys going to do that every time?
Yes, of course. Yes, of course.
Brought to you by United Way and the Ad Council.
This is the sound of salmonella gyrating on your undercooked chicken. And it looks like Mom might be taking it out a little early. Don't let salmonella get funky with your chicken. On average, 1 in 6 Americans will get a foodborne illness this year. So use a thermometer to cook each type of meat to the right temperature. Keep your family safe at foodsafety.gov. Brought to you by the USDA, HHS, and the Ad Council.
Grades, work, sports, bikinis. 18-year-old guys have a lot on their minds. Accidentally breaking the law probably isn't one of them. Yet that's exactly what young men will be doing if they fail to register with Selective Service. So if you know a guy turning 18, do him a favor. Remind him. Fortunately, it'll only take him a few minutes because that's all it takes to register at sss.gov. Then he can get back to his distractions. Homework. sss.gov. Register. It's the law.
Danger, I don't fit in on a stranger. Believer, I can take out all the evil. Empowerment to all my people.
Welcome back to Extra Point here on WGL 91.1 and Eagle Eye TV. Bay, Mark, Jacob Hillman, and Javon Cutler join me in the studio as we continue to talk about, sports. But before that, this weekend, it's going to be a big one for WEGL Sports as we have 4 events coming up. Starting on Friday. Auburn Soccer takes the field against Southern Miss. That can be listened to on WEGL 91.1 FM. And then Saturday and Sunday, guess what? Auburn hockey begins their season. This is the first full season on WEGL. Last year, we kind of moseyed our way in halfway through the season. This year, we're locked in, fully there for the team. If you haven't yet, you can go to our website or SoundCloud, iTunes, Spotify, Stitcher. We're on a lot of platforms if you haven't noticed.
Wherever you get your podcasts.
We're probably there sneaking around. And you can listen to the first episode of the Inside Auburn Hockey Podcast. Already over 100 listens on the nice old SoundCloud. So very thankful for the guys coming in talking to us about the upcoming season. Even on Twitter, the commissioner of the SEC-HC conference commented on it. So getting a little bit of love from Commish. Okay, so it's a lot of fun. We hope the guys have a great time against Georgia Tech and Lynn University. Those are 2 games coming up. Lynn University is on Saturday, 10 a.m. in the morning. It's a little bit of a rough one. You want some Auburn. It's rough. It's rough.
It is.
But if you want some Auburn hockey a little bit before NFL gets going, you can. And then later that day, Auburn Soccer is back at it again late Sunday as they try to get 2 big wins this weekend. So 4 events in 3 days for WEGL. Sports Department is ready to go as we're just chugging along here in the mid-September. Hopefully the gals for volleyball, wherever they may be, because they were in Florida last time. I think they got something going on in Michigan. I'm not sure where they're at. They're just somewhere in the United States at this point, getting some dubs for Auburn. So hopefully they're doing well as well. And we will welcome them back when I believe SEC play starts. I think the first game back, it's off the top of my head right now. The first game back for Auburn volleyball that we'll be calling at home, I think it's against Florida. So that's a big matchup. We're going to be ready for it.
Yeah, one of the top teams in the SEC right there in Florida.
So let's get into a little bit more discussion. Let's kind of run it back. We're gonna run it back on the blacktop as the scoreboard joins us. Javon and I have already discussed it in the first hour. Antonio Brown.
When are we not discussing him?
Yeah, definitely in a bad situation. Just want to get you guys' opinions on where Antonio Brown. Let's put it this way. Bay, Jacob, Javon, because I haven't asked you this question yet. You are the GM of this football team. You are the GM of the New England Patriots. You're not Robert Kraft. You're just yourself, okay? I want to make that very clear. What do you do in this situation? What do you do with Antonio Brown?
It's innocent until proven guilty, and
that is true.
With the way the events have fallen, it's a civil suit. It's not a criminal suit, and just the timing of it makes it a little bit sketchy. So that's kind of the point where you need to gather all the facts, and you need to wait until rulings are made and see if the civil suit goes through. I'm sure it will. I'm sure there'll be a settlement. And, I mean, it's hard to be in this situation because it's a lot more serious than a helmet than Antonio Brown being mad about getting fined because he skipped practices. This is a lot more serious, and you take it as such. You could be trigger happy and just yank him off the team, but that might not be fair to him if it comes out that this is bogus and that he is innocent.
See, all right, if it's me, if I'm the GM of the Patriots, I sit down one-on-one with AB, and I sit there and I say, all right, look, Antonio, everybody that knows football knows exactly what's happened this summer and this past year with you, and I'm willing to forgive but not forget. So therefore, you give me any problems or anything, you are on a strictly thin ice basis. So no games. We're here to play football. Just stop with all the nonsense. Let's get this over with now. Like Jacob was talking about innocent until proven guilty. In regards to that, we got to get all that figured out ASAP as well, because last night I read the ESPN article, and I'm looking at it again right now, that there's some very explicit things on there, and some it says there's text messages and different allegations and separate occasions that date all the way back to 2017.
That is the issue. Those text messages that he sent.
Yeah, which
do not help himself.
That's probably proving him guilty. So I mean, if I'm the GM of the Patriots, I'm saying, look, we got to get this figured out now, because I'm not about to have you play 2 or 3 games this year and then, we're going to take Antonio Brown to prison because of what he's done. So you just have to, if I'm the GM, I get all this out of the air right now and get it settled before we even think about football.
It is a sticky situation. I mean, they are going to allow him to practice, I read today, and that's honestly all I'd allow him to do at the moment, because you don't want to continue to have this scrutiny each game. Like, is he going to play? Is he going to play? Like, so I think you would just allow him to practice, but you're hoping that this case gets resolved quickly, because if it drags on the season and he can't play, then you're going to get probably more erratic behavior from an AB, and the Patriots don't know what to do because they're in a bind themselves by getting this guy. So I think that the only thing they could do is maybe let him practice. Don't let him play, because he's going to take a lot of heat from fans, and it's going to be a really ugly situation no matter where they go on the road. Even at home, it might be kind of an awkward situation because the fans don't really know how to react to this. So it's just a bad situation right now. And like we've all said, those text messages look pretty convincing that, yeah, he did do some stuff. So I think that it's one of those situations where you don't know really how to handle it. And like you said, Jacob, it's innocent until proven guilty. So you can't 100% say that, yeah, he did all these stuff. But the text messages are pretty strong in saying that he might have maybe not done all the 3 things listed, but he might have done 1 or 2 of those things. So it's a tough situation.
I feel like the best way to describe Antonio Brown right now, if you're an NFL GM, is gamble. Because you can gamble on him and take him in and hope that all of this crap is behind him with the Raiders and the Steelers and just start fresh, or you can bring him in and have a potential problem like some more drama, just anything surrounding him. So it's just a gamble.
See, I think for sure there's going to be distractions coming in. It's just how big of a distraction. I mean, this is going to be the biggest one of all, because this could potentially, right now it's a civil case, but it could potentially become a criminal case. And it's just one of those things, you don't want to have this on your team, because that's just such a terrible thing to do if he were to be proven to do it. He's going to bring something to any team he goes to that you might not want. He's a little bit of a distraction just because of what he did in the past. But if he produces on the field, then I think as long as he's not currently doing things, then I think you can make it work.
His former trainer, Brittany Taylor, who is accusing him, is seeking in excess of $75,000 in total.
That doesn't seem like I figured
it'd be more than that. Yeah. But I mean, still, but I don't know. It's really sticky. It's a really touchy topic to talk about.
What did Antonio Brown get in trouble with last year? Something about a balcony and throwing stuff?
Oh, yeah. He threw stuff off a balcony, I think, and it like hit a child or something, or was close to hitting a child or something like that.
What? Why am I just now hearing this?
You probably heard it, but
it like got settled.
A small thing.
Yeah, it was really small compared to what he's done. Yeah.
This is now that's like a little shrug now.
Yeah.
Compared to the other stuff that he's now done. I think the big thing for the GM, the NFL has its personal conduct policy, which is pretty broad, and pretty much if you make us look bad, we can suspend you in a sense. And I would say the Antonio Brown has probably made the NFL look at least a little bad or something, right?
Specifically the Oakland Raiders, but they're talking about putting him on the commissioner's exempt list,
which the NFL has done to players before.
Yeah.
Greg Hardy is a notable name that's been put on there. Adrian Peterson, another one. It's just where, and one thing about the NFL and Roger Goodell is that this is the New England Patriots. If you thought that this was a touchy situation now, adding the Patriots in there makes it a little bit harder.
Absolutely.
Because as Roger Goodell, let's be honest, you don't want to get that perception of I hate the Patriots, right? Because that's what everybody thinks anyway. And it's the Patriots again. It seems like every time something comes up these days, here come the Patriots. They're somehow in it, right? It started with Deflategate, and then all this other stuff, and now here's the Antonio Brown stuff.
Yeah, the reports that have come out say that the Patriots nor the NFL knew anything about this, and that's why
I would hope
timing
not.
is weird.
Well, I would hope.
Just the fact that there's nothing about it, and it happened back in May of 2018. I mean, that's just the thing. It's like, well, it's happened over a year ago. Why is it just now coming out now? Of course, there's different reasons for that, but it's just one of the things that with everything that's built up, this seems like it's the ultimate ending for Antonio Brown if he's ultimately found guilty.
Like I said, when he's in that white Bronco down the highway, don't say nothing. I called that a week ago, and I mean at this point, we are now in the timeline where O.J. Simpson is going on Twitter saying hello to the Twitter world, talking about Antonio Brown and his legal counsel. And the thing is, it's a crazy timeline. We're in the weirdest timeline where I watch an O.J. Simpson video about Antonio Brown and what he says, and I'm like, O.J. has a point.
Yeah.
Antonio, go get you some help. Go do something. Because we can't keep this. This can't keep happening.
No. I can't figure him out. I can't figure why.
Well,
any of this
O.J.
is
or
going on.
Antonio?
Yeah. Yes. No, but it started with the helmet. I mean, it's just a helmet, but
it started with the feet.
Okay, well that was definitely not intentional. The helmet was intentional.
Chunking stuff at a baby, I guess.
I don't know. It might have been a child, and it might have been intentional for him not to wear any or wear the incorrect footwear, not wear any footwear.
Well, regardless, I mean the helmet. I mean that you wouldn't think that's a major issue. It turned into a huge issue, and then everybody knows the tale of everything else that happened. So I can't figure out the reasoning, but yes, OJ is right in the aspect of he definitely needs to seek some help.
Before we go to a quick break, just getting a little bit of news coming through right now, talking about Antonio Brown. And Bill Belichick went out in front of the media today, but as expected,
did not give much. And the Patriots head coach said that he expected Brown to practice on Wednesday, but he would not say whether he would be permitted to suit up on Sunday.
Yeah, I was about to say, I don't think that they've decided.
He said they're taking it a day at a time, so it's basically more information gets released, we'll get closer to a decision.
So, just another chapter being written right now for the Antonio Brown saga. We don't know how it's going to end, but it's just week 1 of the NFL.
Yeah.
We're just getting to week 2.
Good luck, New England.
Good luck, Miami. If we're being real honest. We're going to head to a quick commercial break. Fins up. We're going to head to a quick commercial break, and when we come back, we're going to detail a little bit of college football. You're listening and watching The Extra Point here on WEGL 91.1 and Eagle Eye TV.
There are 250 miles of trails in Alabama state parks. That's 250 miles for you to hike, bike, and explore. And it's something we want to share with future generations. Help us improve these trails by becoming a partner in the Alabama State Parks Trail Program. To learn more about the importance of outdoor recreation and how you can help with the development and management of this new trail program, visit alapark.com or call 800-ALAPARK. Sponsored by the Alabama State Parks, the Alabama Broadcasters Association, and this station.
The Army National Guard is committed to keeping the country safe and our communities secure. Composed of hundreds of thousands of citizen soldiers from all walks of life, the Guard is always ready to respond to local or national emergencies. We protect the homeland. We're always there when called upon, and in every state and territory, we stand guard for our communities. To learn more, log on to NationalGuard.com.
Sponsored by the Alabama Army National Guard. Aired by the Alabama Broadcasters Association and this station.
Selfless service is the guiding principle that drives Army National Guard soldiers to be always ready whenever disaster strikes. They are your next-door neighbors and your colleagues in schools, offices, and factories. To be a Guard soldier is to stand ready to serve at all times for family, for community, and for country. To learn more, log on to NationalGuard.com or contact an Army National Guard recruiter in your area.
Sponsored by the Alabama Army National Guard. Aired by the Alabama Broadcasters Association and this station.
The skills you can develop as a soldier in the Army National Guard can give you an edge in the high-tech job market of tomorrow. The Guard offers career training to take advantage of your skills in science, technology, engineering, and math that can help give you a leg up to a high-paying and rewarding STEM profession. Get a head start on your career while earning money to pay for college. Log on to NationalGuard.com to learn about all of the STEM career opportunities in the Army National Guard.
Sponsored by the Alabama Army National Guard. Aired by the Alabama Broadcasters Association and this station.
Welcome back to Extra Point here on WEGL 91.1 FM. Online at WEGLFM.com. I'm host Jared Dole. Joining me in the studio is Bay Marks, Javon Cutler, and Jacob Hillman. Hey, before we get into college football, let's talk about fantasy for a second. We all took L's except for Bay Marks, who got a big win. Let's see, Bay. There you go. Highway to Bell, great name. 149 points scored, thanks to Deshaun Watson, Le'Veon Bell, Deshaun Jackson. And
yes,
you put up some major numbers.
Thank you.
I mean, to give credit to Andy, he did have almost 50 points with Sammy Watkins by himself.
That's the only reason he was close to me. The absolute only reason.
Other than that, hey, if you want to get an update on CJ Anderson, 3.5 points.
That was a great trade.
Well, Darius Geis is hurt now, so.
That's fair.
But he'll be back in a couple of weeks. So, yeah, it's just, it was tough. Run CMC, coming up about 15 points short.
Austin Eckler.
Well, Houston's defense didn't help.
No, but look at Austin Eckler go off for Brendan. 40 points. Because I was projected to be in the entire day until the 4 o'clock game started, and yeah.
It also helps that you have a kicker who's currently out, Jacob.
What?
Yeah, you have a kicker. Bagley is hurt right now for the Chargers.
Hold on. No, that's Brendan.
I'm sorry. No,
my kicker is the best in the league. I have Harrison Butker.
Okay, I was looking at the wrong one. That makes it a tad bit worse that you lost to him because he didn't have a kicker. But it's a kicker. That doesn't really. That's not as big. Denver's defense did not help you at all. Neither did Montgomery for Chicago.
Sterling Shepard.
Yeah, tough.
Hey, I moved up to 7th projected final standings, even though it's just week 1. I did move up from 11th to 7th.
Yeah, let's look at his projected standings. I don't think I actually moved. So I was at 1st, and then I moved back to 6th. So if you look at the projected standings, I'm kind of just sitting in the middle again, because that trade kind of got to see how it pans out. Who's first now? JP.
Yes, because
Not
JP
surprising at all.
drafted, who was it? Chris McCaffrey.
Yeah, McCaffrey.
And he absolutely went off.
And Lamar Jackson, too.
Yeah, and Lamar Jackson. What in the world?
The Lamar Jackson thing won't happen. Well, it will happen this week because they're playing the Cardinals. But it won't happen for long.
Brendan's second. He went from 3rd to 2nd.
Brendan is 2nd. You know what? That's just overreaction after 1 week. All right, we're gonna come back strong. Bay will continue his kind of push forward. As let's see, Bay, you have Grace who beat me last week. You're projected to win that.
Mm-hmm.
Jacob, you have Brooks. You're projected to win that. And Javon, you have Bryn, who probably will forget to set her lineup anyway. So
yeah, don't remind her about fantasy football. She probably has other duties since she's the station manager.
Carter is now coaching her through apparently. So her lineup is actually decent now.
No.
Did Carter win last week?
Yeah,
he did. He's 1-0.
He beat Jack.
Okay.
And then this week I am playing Carter, so you can only imagine how that trash talk is going to go.
You're projected to win by like 0.1.
I don't like that.
Or not 0.1, 1.6.
I don't like being projected to win. But that being said, he has Jameis Winston. I have Baker Mayfield. And in the situation of who's the worst, it's going to be Jameis Winston.
I think so.
You would think.
Baker might bounce back.
I think Baker's, like you said, he's really embracing the underdog, so he might come out firing this week.
So hopefully we'll see what happens. But last week I had Marquise Brown on my bench. That hurt. So this week I put him in. Let's see him carve up the Cardinals. And, let's go get this dub, guys. Let's just go get it. That's pretty much all I can say.
Gonna eat the dub.
He's actually 4-12 since he ate the dub. So,
James Winston got. I hope they picked up the microphone really well. Gotta go eat that
Yes,
dub.
they did.
that should be a soundbite.
Unfortunately.
Well, what did James Winston say? If we're gonna do it big, we're gonna do it big. Then
If you're gonna do it, then we're gonna do it big.
something like that.
I
It
remember
was something incoherent.
We some dogs.
I remember he said something in the Florida State locker room when they played Ole Miss that one year on Labor Day, and then they blew a huge lead.
He said, we got the best quarterback in the league. We some dogs. We ain't no puppies. Because that's what we would say. Our baseball team in high school, we were the Helena Huskies, and we'd break it down. From Auburn pitcher Richard Fitz would break it down and say, we some dogs. And everybody'd say, because we ain't no puppies. And then they'd run on the field.
How'd that season go?
We went to the state championship. We went to the state championship
Three
three
out
out of
of
the
4
first
years.
4 years of the school's history. And me and Jacob were the first class to go all 4 years. We won state one time, and we should have won the other two. But so we're 1-2 right now in state.
That means losing record in state.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's all good. Let's see. Let's go to college football. Let's go looking at these conferences right now. The conferences are looking pretty decent. Here's this little tidbit. So this week, Washington plays Hawaii. Hawaii, if they were to beat Washington, would open up the season 3-0. Great for Hawaii, correct?
Yes.
Not great for the Pac-12. Why?
The Pac-12 is already in a not great situation.
Because if Hawaii beats Washington, not only would that knock out a top 25 team, Hawaii would then be 3-0 against the Pac-12 to open up the season.
They could punch through the top 25.
Hawaii will somehow end up in the Pac-12 championship game if they're not careful. So the Pac-12 definitely, I mean, it's rough. I mean, the Pac-12 is already down to 5 undefeated teams, so half of their conference is already lost. It is Cal and Washington State on one side, along with Oregon. And Washington already has a conference loss, so they're already back. So
it's up to Utah.
It's really up to Utah. On that other side, USC, Arizona State, Colorado, Utah. We'll see what USC and Utah can do. Maybe USC can find some rhythm.
They've got a backup quarterback, so that's where it's going to be tough.
They got a big win over Stanford. They did. Now, when they got to play like Notre Dame,
we'll see how that goes.
Yeah.
All I got to say about the Hawaii-Washington matchup is the offense in this game is going to be great. It's going to be a very high-scoring game.
I wish it was in Hawaii. I think that would be just the ultimate, like...
This is their first away game because they beat Arizona the first week,
And
beat
they
Oregon State
Oregon
last
State.
week.
Yeah.
Those aren't great Pac-12 opponents, but they are Pac-12 opponents.
So taking a look at some of the games this week, we won't go too into them, but just know that on Friday, by the way, September 13th, Friday the 13th is around the corner, guys. So yeah, don't let it get you slipping.
Oh wait, is it this Friday?
Yes,
It is this Friday.
Washington State and Houston. That's a scary matchup.
Hey, but that's also the Advocare Texas kickoff game. Yeah.
What day is it?
It
Okay,
is week 3. Apparently, there is a kickoff game on Friday. I don't know what we're kicking off exactly, but there is a kickoff game.
These matchups on Friday, like you got the North Carolina Lake Forest game. I think we discussed that already. How it's a non-con game, but it's 2 ACC teams.
Yeah.
You've got Kansas, which is horrifying,
Hey, I'm always down for some Kansas football.
and then the kickoff game in week 3. I mean, that's perfect for
Hey,
Friday the 13th.
Two of those 3 games are good, though. I'd watch North Carolina Wake Forest. They're 2 undefeated ACC teams. I mean,
Welcome back, Mac Brown.
welcome back, Mac Brown. And then there's Washington State, Houston, which Pac-12 team on the road, going down to Texas late at night on ESPN, favored. I've heard that story before, and it doesn't end well for the Pac-12 team. Looking at some other things that are going on. So Saturday, September 14th, there's not a lot though. So let's go ahead and just preface.
This week
is trash.
boring.
This week is trash. There's Georgia, Arkansas State. There is Indiana, Ohio State in Indiana.
There's Pitt and Penn State. I mean, somewhat 11 a.m. ABC.
Yeah, but Penn State's not top 10, so Pitt's not going to win. Yeah, that's usually how it goes. They got to be top 10 for Pitt to pull an upset. And usually it has to be like in Pitt. That's usually how it goes. So, yeah. Maryland is, everybody hold the phone. Maryland is only a 7-point favorite against Temple.
How?
Is Temple good?
Maryland was favored last week against ranked Syracuse, and now they're slight favorite over Temple. I don't know.
Temple
was good when they had Manny Diaz for like 2 weeks.
Temple's averaging 700 yards of offense per game.
Oh my!
That's why.
Maybe that's why.
Yeah, that's why.
But the over/under is
They've only played one game.
Yeah.
The over/under is only
Still.
66.5.
Whoa.
It's not a lot. At least in Maryland standards, it's not a lot. Maryland scored 66 like in the first half in general.
They did put it on Syracuse last week.
They did.
Oh, yeah.
Guess who picked Syracuse?
You did.
Guys.
The most exciting game is going to be Stanford UCF.
Yes. But bigger question, is Tennessee going to lose to Chattanooga?
I hope so.
Absolutely.
If Tennessee goes 0-12,
I think
good lord.
I think tomorrow we're picking that game, and I don't know how to pick that.
My serious prediction for them is 2-10. And I think it's because they beat Chattanooga and they squeak out a win against UAB in November.
Oh my word. Tennessee's
How many points
dumpster fire.
is Oklahoma scoring in the first half against UCLA? I think I asked that question on Monday. But
35.
Over under 50. So you're
Over.
I'd say over 50.
Is UCLA.
You said over under 50?
Yeah.
Even.
50.
Ooh. I'd probably go over. Yeah, I'd go over.
I'm going to stick at 50. That seems about right. But yeah, this week is trash. I'm not gonna lie, guys. this week is pretty bad.
Next week starts getting really good. Yeah.
It's gonna be great.
Week 4. Look, you know what? I mean,
USC Utah.
We'll talk about
on
week
Friday
3.
night.
Yeah, we'll talk about week 3 on Friday anyway. Let's go to week 4. Let's look ahead. Also, first
Georgia,
of all,
Notre Dame.
Yeah. Friday looks good. Utah, USC.
Yep.
Air Force and Boise State. So Friday looks pretty decent. So let's get to that Saturday.
Oh,
yeah.
11 a.m. Alabama Southern Miss. Just bless their hearts.
Bless their poor hearts. LSU going on the road to Vanderbilt. God bless them. Here's Tennessee, Florida, which, even if Tennessee's 0-3 and loses to Chattanooga, I still don't know how that game goes. Because Florida's
Yes, we do.
Do we?
Yes.
Okay. I don't know. Maybe that's Carter. Carter may have installed the Florida's really, really bad thing in me.
I got a good Big Ten matchup between Michigan and Wisconsin.
That is true.
Even though Michigan nearly lost last week to Army.
That is true.
Pitt and UCF. I know UCF's not top 10, but
well, they're top 10 in my book after that. And when that game happens.
It's at Pitt. It's in Heinz Field.
That is true.
Obviously, the greatest game will be Notre Dame and Georgia. That'll be a highly watched game.
Notre Dame, Georgia. Northwestern Michigan State's going to be a sneaky good one at 11 a.m. for a Big Ten matchup. Obviously, Auburn plays A&M at 2:30 in Texas. You're making that trip.
I think
Good luck.
the last time we played A&M at 2:30, I believe, was the year that we played at A&M. The second year we played them, and it was Gus's first year. And Auburn won 45-41.
That was the second time we played them in the SEC. The first time we played at Kyle Field.
That's the last time we ever played them at 2:30 on CBS. So, and that was when Auburn had just snuck into the top 25.
No, that's wrong.
When was the last time we played them at 2:30?
2014.
No, that was a night game.
Mm-mm. They finished at night because it was in November, but it was a 2:30 CBS.
Well, on the road then, but
because that game was before Alabama LSU.
I'm just glad Auburn broke the curse last year of road team always wins. So,
not right now.
Well, now it means anybody can win. So we could still win.
So you hope. And for those of you obviously who care about them, week 4 Hawaii plays Central Arkansas in Hawaii at midnight.
Yes.
So
you love Hawaii, don't you?
Get your Facebook ready. I like late night football that I can go to sleep to. So that's either Hawaii or delayed Pac-12 after dark.
Well, that's what we got last week with Washington. That was Pac-12 after dark. Washington
Yes, it
and
was.
Cal.
If I can ever watch a Pac-12 game while the sun's coming up, it's perfect.
I remember Ole Miss played at Cal at like 2 a.m. a few years ago, and it was. I remember it was a bad ending for Ole Miss. He threw. I think it was Swag Kelly threw an interception on the last drive.
All right, well, we're gonna head to a quick commercial break, and when we come back, we're gonna wrap up the show here on this Wednesday. You're listening and watching Extra Point here on WGL 9211 and Eagle Eye TV.
Young men just don't seem to listen to the radio anymore. They're too busy with their earpods and TV games.
It's iPods and video games?
Whatever. Point is, young men are probably not listening to me right now, but they will listen to you. So I need you to remind them to register with Selective Service when they turn 18. It's an easy way to keep the door open to important benefits like college loans and government jobs, and it's the law. So please feel free to remind them to go to sss.gov or any post office to register.
I heard that.
Hey, Russell Wilson here, and I know how important exercise is.
It's essential. It's essential.
With Play 60, United Way and the NFL are helping kids stay active and play at least 60 minutes a day.
Healthy kids. Healthy kids.
But what this place needs is you. To donate or volunteer, go to unitedway.org/play60 because great things happen when we live united.
Donate.
Are you guys going to do that every time?
Yes, of course. Yes, of course.
Brought to you by United Way and the Ad Council.
This is the sound of salmonella gyrating on your undercooked chicken. And it looks like Mom might be taking it out a little early. Don't let salmonella get funky with your chicken. On average, 1 in 6 Americans will get a foodborne illness this year. So use a thermometer to cook each type of meat to the right temperature. Keep your family safe at foodsafety.gov. Brought to you by the USDA, HHS, and the Ad Council.
Grades, work, sports, bikinis. 18-year-old guys have a lot on their minds. Accidentally breaking the law probably isn't one of them. Yet that's exactly what young men will be doing if they fail to register with Selective Service. So if you know a guy turning 18, do him a favor. Remind him. Fortunately, it'll only take him a few minutes because that's all it takes to register at sss.gov. Then he can get back to his distractions. Homework. sss.gov. Register. It's the law.
Welcome back to Extra Point here on WEGL 911 and Eagle Eye TV. As we're heading toward the end of the show, I guess we got bored and started looking at FCS games that were coming up. I wish it was in the budget that we could just pick an FCS game and just host a show live there. I brought up Taylor versus Butler this weekend. Butler's 1-1, and right, that was 2 weeks ago when I found out that Butler had a football team. That's good for me. But you were talking about what is this thing that Taylor does?
So I don't know what game it is this, but in basketball, there's a basketball game every year that they do where all their students dress up. It's like a giant Halloween party. I don't think it's on Halloween, but it's like that. And on their 10th point, they just go crazy and charge the court. They stop the game
because nobody makes noise. It's completely silent, no cheering or anything. And then right when they make the 10th point, if it's a free throw, 3-pointer, layup, everybody storms the court. And it's just a massive mosh pit.
We should do that at Auburn Arena, but don't tell anybody.
We tried it in high school, but it was always terrible.
We wouldn't storm the court,
because it's 50 students and then a few hundred parents that don't know what's going on. So yeah, it's kind of dumb. But it's a lot better when Taylor University does it, and it's cool.
Rabbit hole. Nothing in high school was more fun than high school basketball game student section beefs from across the court.
Yeah,
that was fun.
Well, there was last year when we were calling Beauregard basketball, which WGL is the home of Beauregard basketball. Let's put that there. Where a coach got ejected. The players had to move away from the away bench because the away team was being heckled. It was a whole thing. High school basketball is crazy.
Yeah.
What in the world?
We played a game and a parent got ejected.
That's hype.
Yeah.
Calera senior year?
Well, we won't name any names, but yeah, the player was going back and forth with a Helena player, and the dad
was on the baseline, the literal baseline, and the principals had to come kick him out. There was a policeman there because I don't know. It was 2 minutes into the game.
Fun times.
But anyways,
fun times down in Helena.
Taylor versus Butler, FCS matchup.
I was gonna move to a $3 ticket game that I think we can all go to.
Okay,
you guys ready to travel down to? I don't know if you want this smoke. Southeastern Louisiana, who's 1-0. We can get some $3 tickets, and we can travel to the Grove as they take on Ole Miss.
Okay, that's a good one. Heat exhaustion might get to you, but it'll be worth it to see FCS power Southeastern Louisiana try to take down Ole Miss.
So if we want to, bunker down into a car, let's see, that's $12 for total on all of us. We can bring in Jack is waving at me through the window. That's $15. Bring all the equipment. Don't tell Britt. I think we're good to go.
Sounds like a plan.
Yeah.
Britt would love it.
There's a $2 ticket on the market right now, but it's more of a road trip. UNLV at Northwestern, 2:30 kickoff on Big Ten Network.
Northwestern?
Chicago.
Affirmative of the Big Ten.
Do we want to go to Chicago?
I've never seen the bean. I didn't even know that was a thing until my girlfriend Jordan went over the summer. She's like, I saw the bean today. I was like, what in the world is the bean? And she took a picture. It's a big.
It took 1 year, and I just found out your girlfriend's name is Jordan.
Yeah, it's Jordan.
We don't talk about that a lot.
But I've never been to Chicago, and I think that'd be a fun game to go to. UNLV and Northwestern.
What about Youngstown State? I can't say that. I can't say the other one.
Wait, what's the other one?
Duquesne?
Oh, Duquesne, I think. Is
is that silent? The S?
I think so, yeah.
Okay.
It's like Duquesne.
That makes a lot more sense.
Yeah.
What is your logo? Is that a D? It's a very sharp D.
Well, my thing is Carl Pelini, Bo Pelini's brother, is the coach at Youngstown State.
Is former Ohio State coach still the president of Youngstown State?
Are you talking about Jim Tressel?
Yes. Is he still there?
Probably.
Yeah,
Google that.
I digged into my mind on that one. I remember Jim Tressel.
We can go ask him about tattoos and such.
So we're going to buy $14 tickets to travel to Youngstown State versus that other team, and we'll interview Jim Tressel on the show.
He is still the Youngstown State president.
You'll never believe what FCS matchup this weekend has a ticket for $32. Sam Houston State at North Dakota.
Okay, not North Dakota State?
No, but it's Sam Houston State, though.
No, Sam Houston State.
Yeah.
That's a powerhouse.
No, one of these tickets is like $100 somewhere. I'm looking at.
They get up there, dude. I'm telling you.
Who had a $100 ticket? Now we're just looking at prices. It's like we're on Amazon shopping right now. I could have somebody had one. Maybe
I've
not.
seen as high as 50. Oh, there you go. Jackson State against Tennessee State. I think is Jackson State and Tennessee because if that's the case, they're an in-state and probably a rivalry.
I wonder if Jackson State is in
Mississippi.
They are, I bet.
Yeah. I think
sounds about right.
I'm not actually sure, but they're 0-2. See, they are in.
They're in Atlanta.
They're in Atlanta.
They play Georgia State Stadium. That's where they play.
Huh.
God, where's this show gone? Looking at FCS ticket match.
Where has the show gone? Well, let me tell you. Wait, no, time out. They are in Mississippi. I think they may have opened a season in Georgia State Stadium, but they play at Mississippi Veterans Memorial Stadium, which sounds like somewhere a high school will play.
Yes, it does. Is that 39,000? Is that how much it holds? I believe that's what it says.
Maybe.
Hard to tell.
Yeah, this show. Oh, look, we reached 11:55, so we can actually stop filling. Okay, so because that's exactly what we were doing as we continue to go along. But thank you guys for listening as we just go chugging along through the week. I don't know if I told you guys, but on Tuesday, do you remember the wing bet I made with Carter all those months ago?
That y'all haven't done yet.
I told him yesterday, I'm cashing out on Tuesday. It's happening live on the show.
Wow.
Tuesday, I'm cashing in the bet.
Make it within the 11 a.m. hour so I can be here.
So I don't know what hour. It probably be
close out the show with it. That'd be a good way to end the show.
Close out the last 15 minutes of him dying in the corner.
No. You got to do it early on so that he has to suffer after it. He can't just get off the air. He has to be on the air after he goes through his suffering, and we'll see how that goes. He might not like you. He might not say a word, which that's unlike Carter, but who knows?
All right, well, let's get out of here before Jack says any more mean things about Bay in the Periscope chat. As we're going to head out of here. Thank you guys for listening to The Extra Point. Remember that you can always watch us on our podcast, on Spotify, or on SoundCloud. So thank you guys for listening. We'll see you same time, same place. We'll see you tomorrow. That does it for The Extra Point here on WEGL 91.1 FM and Eagle Eye TV. Want to watch more? Catch replays of The Extra Point on Eagle Eye TV by going to eagleeyeauburn.com. You can also go to WEGL 91.1 FM YouTube page for full replay. Want to listen more? We have you covered. Tune in to Spotify, iTunes, Stitcher, or SoundCloud and search WEGL 91.1 FM for more of the Extra Point and other sports content. Stay up to date with the latest news and sports by visiting WEGLFM.com. The Extra Point, bringing you the X's and O's from around the plains of Auburn and around the world of sports. Auburn's best sports talk radio show, Auburn's only sports talk TV show. Watch and listen live Monday through Friday from 10 a.m. to noon. WEGL Sports, where every game lives.
Fireball.